Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video here on the channel, and today, at the time of recording and hopefully uploading, Mayday Parade, of course, classic pop-punk band at this point, released the third part to their album trilogy, Sweet, Sad, Sugar. Now, as someone who's never really been a fan of the band, I thought them making a trilogy of albums was interesting, so I followed it a little bit without listening to them and decided to check them out today, especially to do for a video. So, yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on all of those. And I will also rank them using my new tiering system. But I did have some things I wanted to say right here at the start, so let's get into it. First thing I want to say is I've never really gotten into the band. I like a few songs, but I'm very casual with Mayday Parade. For me, Jamie All Over is still their best song, if that gives you an idea. I've been keeping up with them for a while, and they have just finished putting out their own trilogy of albums over the last year. The albums, or EPs, Sweet, Sad, and Sugar. Admittedly, I really thought that last one was going to be sour, but that's not really the point of the video. Today's video will see me, someone who's not really a fan but loves pop punk, listening to and reviewing Mayday Parade's 3 albums. So let's get into it. So of course we start off with Sweet. That was the first one. That came out April last year, 2025, and it kicks off with the opener, By the Way, which I said immediately kicks off with loud piano. This is different from what I know of the band, and that's not a bad thing. I think this is good, and I would probably come back to this song in the future. 4,000 Days plus the ones I don't remember. This kicks off with a bass line that feels very Mark Hoppus to me. The guitar in the pre-chorus feels a little Tom DeLonge to me as well. I really do feel a little Blink energy in this song. Again, that's not a bad thing, and I really like this song. This is another I would come back to. In fact, I think I like this more than By the Way. Who's Laughing Now? I said is a fast-paced rager featuring Knuckle Puck, and this song feels very 2000s pop punk to me, and it rules. This Personified is just a short piano interlude / intro for the next song, which is Who We Are. The previous song, of course, goes right into this one, and I like this too. I really like the solo in this song, and so far I've been pleasantly surprised with this album. Then we have Natural, where I said, ooh, I really like the opening riff here. This one feels different to everything else, and I like it a lot. Also, there's a little lyrical reference, I think, to Jamie All Over, where Derek says, point to the map. And of course, Jamie All Over has the line, here's the map, the pin, the place you pointed at. Anyway, I also said that this song has a little shredding, too, and this might be my favorite so far. Then there's Towards You, where I said, it starts off slow with an acoustic guitar. This is good, but it doesn't excite me as much as the others. To be fair, the genre has a habit of always having an acoustic ballad on albums. I love ballads, but pop-punk ballads can definitely be hit or miss. This one is good, but I don't like it as much as the other songs on here. And then Sweet ends with the song Pretty Good to Feel Something, which is a song I actually talked about on this channel previously, back when I was still doing the weekly TGC radio series. I don't remember the song at all, but I do like it, and I actually really like both the synth in the background and the guitars a lot. And ultimately, when it comes to Sweet, I said, I think this would get a bronze tier in my new ranking system, which would mean it's a good album. I think it is a good pop-punk EP / album, but it's definitely not one of my favorites either. There are songs I'd come back to, and that's about it. So ultimately, I don't love it. But we do quickly move on to part 2. The second album here is Sad, which released October last year. And it starts off with It's Not All Bad. And I said right away, this feels different to Sweet to me, but not totally disconnected. Honestly, I think I like this more than almost all of Sweet. There's just something about this that feels like a step above to me. Under My Sweater, the previous flows into this one, and one thing I can say about the first 2 here and all of Sweet is I really like the instrumentals. There's a lot of really cool synths, guitar work, lead parts, and more, and I like this song a lot. Promises is another acoustic-led song. The chorus brings in another guitar, the second verse brings in the whole band, and this is great. I Miss the 90s is another piano opening, and I like it a lot. One Day at a Time, I said, yeah, this album or EP, whatever you want to consider it, just does something for me that everything else from the band just doesn't really. And I love this song in every way, shape, or form. And I said right away, ooh, I really dig this bass line. This song and album is Mayday Parade doing a type of pop punk that I really like. And this song instrumentally really reminds me of So Wrong It's Right. Breakup Song is immediately different. Ultimately, I didn't have much to add here. I really like the guitar work, and it feels so happy and bouncy, which is a nice juxtaposition to the lyrics. And the final song of Sad is I Most Obey the Inscrutable Exhortations of My Soul. That's a Mayday Parade song title. This song has a killer opening. Everyone's just firing on all cylinders, then everyone drops out and it gets really soft before everyone comes back in the chorus. I really like the guitar work on this album and song. And ultimately, I said with Sad, I really like this album. I really do see myself coming back to this one. I couldn't guarantee that with Sweet, but this one I would. If Sweet is a good pop punk album, then this is great to me and gets a silver tier in my ranking system. But of course, we finish off with Sugar, which just released today at the time of recording, and again, hopefully uploading, July 24th, 2026. And I said, well, the opening song is Set Phasers to Bummed, which I choose to believe is a reference to Set Phasers to Stun, the opening track of Taking Back Sunday's 2004 album Where You Want to Be, which I've talked about on this channel. Set Phasers to Bummed starts off with some talking before kicking in, and ultimately this is just an intro song to the first real song, Blame It on the Youth. And this I've already listened to beforehand, and it's a good song with a great message, and I like the song, but I don't love it. I will say that listening to all three of these albums is kind of nice though. It's cool to see a band, and a legacy band at that, is still making this style of pop punk. I think that's just really cool. But then we have Sweet Sad Sugar, which is effectively the title track to all three albums in the trilogy. I know technically that's not how that works, but just bear with me. And I said, I like this more than the first one. This makes me feel the same kind of way that Sad does, and I really dig this. Weekend music, I said, carries the momentum of the previous really well, and I'm getting the same vibe here as the previous plus Sad. I really like the lead part in this song too. The backing vocals with the guitar near the end just does something for me. Lying to Myself, I said, the opening riff reminds me a bit of Taking Back Sunday. Again, the lead part here is really good. Two Hearts, this song gets a big thumbs up from me and has a really strong chorus. Don't Give Up on Me. This song and all three albums here really show me that this band has plenty of riffs and can even shred a little bit. I really like the guitar work, and especially the lead parts, and this is a banger. Patriotism of First Tiger Called Into Question, again, that's a Mayday Parade song title. I don't have much to add, but I do like this song a lot. So the Story Goes, they changed things up for this one, and I really like the guitar here at the start. And I said, yeah, this just keeps things moving along very nicely. The song has a solo that I like a lot too. And we close out, final song of this three-album run, What Happens Next. I said, we've got some piano on this one, and it doesn't really pick up until about the 3-minute mark, where the whole band comes in just kind of like exploding. And I like the whole album, and I really like the instrumental, and especially the guitar work. And that was Sugar, and all three of those, Sweet Sad Sugar. And for this one I said, yeah, I really like this album. I don't like it more than Sad, but I think I like it just as much. Both are really good, and I call this one a silver tier great pop punk album as well. And yeah, that's really all I've got here. That was me talking about all three albums in Mayday Parade's recent trilogy of albums, Sweet, Sad, and Sugar. I like all three. Sweet, I think, is a good album, but I don't love it. And I do really like Sad and Sugar a lot, and I would recommend them, but I don't know, does that hold a lot of weight, seeing as how before this I never really listened to anything from the band except for Jamie All Over? Do with that what you will. I don't really care. But I like Sad and Sugar a lot, and I still think Sweet's pretty good too. So yeah, like I said, I don't have much else to add here. That was me talking about all of those. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've checked out the band, these albums, etc. Let me know how you feel about them if you have. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.